Increased penalties for failure to pay child support. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Pennsylvania State Representative Thomas Murt. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Jill. Great to be here.
You are reintroducing a piece of legislation that's related to child support. Let's get into some of the specifics. This is something that was introduced last session but has now been amended, and it's related to the willful failure to pay child support. What does that mean, the willful failure to pay?
That's a great question, Jill, and the answer is that unfortunately, in many family situations in the Commonwealth, there are situations where one family will be the custodial parent of children, and the other parent, who has a financial responsibility to pay for child support, will choose not to do so, despite the fact that they have ample assets and or income to fulfill those requirements. And this proposed legislation is a legislative attempt to increase the penalty for someone's intentional or, as you mentioned, the willful decision to not support their children. And it upgrades the penalty, and for a second and third offense could actually result in the non-custodial parent actually serving jail time.
We're not talking about those who can't pay, for example, a situation, loss of job, loss of their source of income. That's not the situation we're talking about here.
Excellent clarification, Jill, and you are correct. We're not talking about a situation, especially in this economic climate where many families are struggling, families that are not together, where there is a divorce, where the parents live with one parent, and the other parent cannot afford child support because of a loss of job or being underemployed. So that's correct. We're not referring to a family situation like that. We're referring specifically to the willful decision to not pay child support. And just to give you a sense of the magnitude of this issue, in 2007, we did some statistical analysis, and the data says that there is over $1 billion of unpaid, uncollected child support on the street, if you will, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That is an enormous amount of funding. And if we look at this issue a little closer, we can see that this is revenue, this is funding that is supposed to be directed towards the care of children, for their education, for their food and clothing and so forth. And frequently, because there is the funding is not coming through, the state has to step in with public assistance and so forth.
Now, you mentioned some increased penalties associated with this piece of legislation. It would increase fines and potentially even include prison time. Why do you feel that increasing penalties and potentially even including prison time would be an important component of this?
Remember that this legislation is designed to encourage people who have the assets, parents who have the assets, who have the income to pay the child support that they legally owe. And this is serious business. Somebody who is willfully not supporting their children is committing a crime that's already on the books, but we think that we need to make this a little more serious. And it does increase the fine, and it does hold out the possibility of jail time for somebody who refuses to support their children.
And we just have a short time left, but as we mentioned, this was something that you had introduced in the past. Why do you think that this would move forward now?
We feel that we have the support of some of the social service agencies, and many parents have approached us underscoring the importance of parents who owe child support to step up and make their responsibility.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Jill.
We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Thomas Murt. I'm Jill Horner.